There he is.
Hey, what's up, my friend? How you doing?
Good, and yourself?
Good. I'm sorry about yesterday.
I was like, he's
Uh,
already big time in me. He's already rock star.
no, no, no. Oh my God. I woke up to a bunch of text messages and I was just like, like I felt so bad. I'm sorry about that.
All good, brother.
Um,
All good. Stuff happens.
yeah,
But let's get
yeah,
into it, man. I wanted to first start with the little geography, man, because I think I saw something about you guys were from Michigan and then Southern California and then San Francisco. Where the hell are you guys
yeah.
from?
I'm not really sure how we got all of those different his backstories online. It still confuses me. But we're from the Bay Area, California. So we're around from San Francisco. We're all a little bit spread out now, but that's where the band definitely formed and all of its beginning years were at. So yeah, Bay Area.
So then Giants or A's?
Fuck man. I mean, I'm not crazy on sports, but I've been to an A's game before, so I guess I'll say A's.
Well, the other thing about your band is it's you and your brother Alex, right?
That's right.
That's
Yeah.
that's for sure. And now who's older out of the two?
My brother is. Alex is he's 2 years older than me. So he's 31 now and I'm 29.
So then did he drag you along? How did the band get going then?
We've always kind of played music together, and if we'd start a project, we'd always invite the other one in. So when I started Spite with my friend Cody in the beginning, so Alex was kind of like an immediate, given addition to the band.
And
So yeah, yeah, and it started out with me, Cody, and Alex, writing all the music, and Cody took on his studio full time, and so Alex kind of took it on from there.
interesting. Yeah, I was curious about the age and who brought who into the band because that's like
Yeah,
subtle arguments, man. Like usually the older brother, I would imagine, would win those arguments, but you know,
yeah,
either brothers bands, it's either like they're one and the same and they're basically twins, or they're completely opposite, polar opposites of each other.
yeah.
How do you think you guys
Yeah,
are?
we balance each other out. That's for sure. I think we're both a little bit. We can be a little bit, a little fiery. Given the band, it makes a lot of sense. And I think lately we've been really good about just learning how to tame each other. I love being in a band with my brother, man. It's had obviously it's ups and downs, and brothers tussle here and there. You know what I'm
Sure,
saying? But
sure.
no one else gets the vision the way he does, and the same. You know what I'm saying? And we're cut from the same cloth, and no matter what, it's good to be me and him. So
And Ben refereeing the two of you, right?
that's right. Ben's definitely the peacemaker, man. He's definitely a fucking blessing.
Speaking of the lineup, but we've had some changes recently. Are those solidified? Or are we just kind of rolling with some guys now? What's the deal, Ben?
Yeah, so as far as adding another guitar player, I think right now, just since we had such a big shift, we're just going to kind of roll with our solid team, and I don't think we're going to be looking into any additions right now. But who's to say what happens in the future? We have a lot of touring coming up, and then we have we got to write some more music, and I think we just want to focus on that. Um, we have a drummer with us right now. His name's Travis, and he's from a band called Carcosa
Hmm.
in Canada. And he just joined us for the first time on this last tour we did in Europe with Thy Art. And he is, I mean, a fucking ripper, man. I mean, he is just insane and such a positive attitude and happy to be there. And it was really refreshing to be on tour with someone like him who's just driven and hot and just wants it really bad and just such a good kid. So yeah, we love having him around. He's great.
That's awesome, man. Well, I'm definitely looking forward to the tour. You guys going back to the House of Blues of Anaheim, but with this time
That's
with
right.
August Burns Red and Brand to Sacrifice to you guys at Crystal
Hmm.
Lake. And that's the amazing thing about your band is you can kind of play with everybody, even though you're probably more in that deathcore space. Here you are going out with a
Sure.
metalcore band, and
Yeah.
and it works.
Yeah. That's my favorite thing about Spite is that we've never really wanted to label ourselves in a certain genre and, confine ourselves in any category. I think what we do is just metal, and it's just hey, it's whatever it is, it's going to be pissed off. And, there's a million different kinds of ways of portraying that anger,
Sure.
so it doesn't have to be done a certain way. And I think it's fun that we can just kind of do whatever the fuck we want, play whoever the fuck we want to play with. And it's just a good time.
And do you have any experience with August Burns Red? Did you grow up listening to them? I mean,
Oh, of course.
perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, when Travis, the drummer, found out he was going on tour with them, obviously Matt Greiner is like a fucking legend, and he was really excited about that, and all of us, I mean, me and my brother were talking about it. Like one of my first like metalcore local bands I was in. I mean, we covered an August Burns Red song, when I was like a fucking kid. You know what I'm saying? So, it's definitely like a full circle kind of thing for everyone. And I like that they're taking out some like fresher bands to support them. They're not just doing a bunch of like old school bands to do the tour who are doing stuff during that time. They're like,
Right.
here's a note to what everyone grew up on, but here's a bunch of fresh bands continuing everything. And I think it's cool that they did that. So,
Yeah. I mean, super cool with you guys and like Brand of Sacrifice. And you did a merch drop recently with the Demon King with Kyle Anderson, right?
yeah, with his Shibori threads. It
Yeah.
was really cool. There's actually like a ton of people in Europe who had that suit. It was really badass seeing that everywhere. You can't really miss it. It's pretty flashy, but I definitely have one myself too.
Of course, you got to, man. You got to.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Yeah, that's just badass.
wasn't too long ago you were at the House of Blues for another show recently, earlier this year with Wage War and Nothing Nowhere, and another kind of weird bill for you to be on, but
Mm-hmm.
it worked out. Imagine that was a great tour as well.
Yeah, I think I prefer doing tours with bands that are a little bit outside of our realm a little, I guess. Just because I feel like, I mean, obviously the deathcore fan base is growing huge, but like for a while I felt like we were kind of playing in front of the same audiences over and over and over again. And again, that's different now. Every band in the deathcore scene is getting a lot more eyes on it, which is cool. But a kind of show goer and a different kind of like someone who's interested in a different side of metal, like metalcore, I think would appreciate Spite, because it
Right.
does have a lot of grooves and fun parts that are just, it's not just about like, I mean, it is, but like it can appeal to that audience as well. And we're getting, we're noticing that a lot doing these tours. Like people are really seeming to enjoy it, and they've, I like getting that I've never seen you before,
Right.
And I can't wait to see you again and all that, because that's why we're touring. And I want people to keep coming back and having Spite be an experience and not just like, oh, I saw them live. So yeah, it's
Interesting.
important to me.
So it's a conscious decision on your part to play with bands outside of your genre and play with metalcore bands and stuff like that. It's interesting.
It's not always my decision, but it's definitely something I always like get excited about, for sure. Whenever the opportunity presents itself, I definitely like to jump on it.
Bitching, man. And we got to get into the new tune. Thank you
Yeah,
again with Phil Bozeman. Now
that's right.
that makes perfect sense singing alongside you. Tell me how that came to be, and tell me about that. It was actually your brother Alex who wrote that song, right?
That's right. Yeah. It kind of we did a tour in Australia last year, or at the beginning of this year in January. And it was Thy Art and Whitechapel and Chelsea Grin and us out in Australia, and it was like the coolest fucking tour in the world. Like it was dope. It was the Hate Tenure tour for Thy Art,
Oh, right.
and we got to go all over Australia. We flew to every show. We got to stay
Wow.
at like pretty cool hotels, and like, there was enough days off to be able to explore, and kind of, it felt like a vacation while also playing like the coolest shows of our life. Right. So it was really badass. And we did that. Obviously Whitechapel was on it. And because it wasn't really like a van or a bus tour, all of us kind of like had to spend a lot of time together, and we got to know each other really well. And, me and Phil, I feel like kind of just, hit it off pretty well in the beginning. And we would just talk about like, what we love about music and like kind of what we think also about like the modern take on things. And we seem to just have like a lot of similar stances on how we felt about things. And thank you again kind of came from all of our conversations in Australia. And it was kind of just like, okay, well, like, what do we love about metal? And like, it's just like sticking it to the fucking man and being fucking pissed off. And we like the real shit. And we like vocalists that are like fucking loud and aggressive. We want it to be scary, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of like what we believe in, like, and like basically that song is, like I was mentioning earlier, with all the social media platforms now and all, it is giving a big spotlight onto metal music now and deathcore and all that, which I think is incredible. It's awesome. And it's giving like a lot of these bands like full on careers that that we never imagined the metal scene really ever tapping into or like anything like that. And I think it gives a lot of people like hope in the genre now, which is really cool to see everyone succeeding that way. But on the flip side, it also like has spawned a lot of people that like are trying to just like hit the gimmick to get big fast. And it creates a lot of, I feel like music, I've talked about this, even back in our old albums of like, the scene gets a little oversaturated sometimes, right? And now that there's this platform, I feel like so many bands and artists are coming out with music that lack the authenticity now, right? It's just like, it's just not like the lyrics. It's like, what are you even fucking talking about? What does this mean? It's just like anything to hit that like viral moment.
Right.
And, it's just obviously bands like Whitechapel and stuff. They're like the fucking,
oh, geez.
they're the pioneers, right? So it's like, it's bittersweet. And, I very much feel that. We just kind of wrote a song that was kind of just like expressing our feeling towards everything a little bit. And I think he was the perfect person to feature on that, and when we asked him, he was just like super stoked and down to do it right away. And the best part about that song, I mean, one, it's our first feature ever, which is cool to have someone like Phil hop on and kind of just be like debut that kind of thing for us. And that it's not just like a typical, when you hear like featured on a song, it's just they get like a quick little like 10-second, part and then it's over. And it's like so obvious. And the person comes in where like we kind of made this song so it was like back and forth and a little bit like he's actually a part of the song. It's not just like, oh, here's where we obviously paid someone this amount of whatever to track this and shove it in here. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
Yeah. So he very much like it was a song that we obviously all believed in and we were stoked to do like a whole track together,
So the important question, were you in the room with him when he recorded the song, or was it one of those where you like nailed
No.
it? Yeah.
No, we definitely, him being in Tennessee, we're in California, we all have like recording. And I mean, luckily he has a studio. I know Zach and his band tracks, and then I have Cody back home, and it's easy for us to like, send things back and forth and make it work like that. But yeah, we had a cool moment on this last tour. He came up to do the song with us once, and he, I don't, want to bother him to come up every single night, obviously. But the day he came up, I was like, oh, do you want to just do like the main big part with us? He's like, nah, I'll do the whole song. Like, I know it. You know what I'm saying? I was like, cool. And he just fucking nailed it, bro. Like, he did it perfectly. Like, he really knew that shit. It was badass.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I love Phil as a singer, and like we said, one of the OGs, amazing voice, and for music this heavy, he has one. I don't know if it's just because I've been listening to him for so long, but I kind of feel like I understand him the most out of most, heavy singers. Like those words really come through. And then even to learn more recently that he writes a lot of riffs for the band.
Yeah,
tunes like Black Bear on the Valley and stuff.
Exactly. And I know he was telling me a lot that he did a good amount of riffs on the Somatic Defilement was him as well. But he's always been great about pronunciation, and I think that's that's important too in metal. It's like, again, like what you're saying fucking matters, like at least to me. So
last couple of things I wanted to hit you with, man. I mean, Dedicated to Flesh, took a few years to actually come out. Now we have the new single. Are we working our way towards a new album already?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think now we have this August Burns Red tour coming up next week, and then we have a bit of a break. We have a couple other tours that haven't been announced yet coming up that I'm really excited to share with everyone. They're really cool. Again, we've been doing a lot of support tours,
Right.
and people have been asking us for longer sets and stuff like that. They want to see us headline, whatever. So we're definitely coming back with. All I can say is, longer sets will be played for sure, and the lineups are fucking awesome. And we'll do Europe and the States, and give everyone a little bit of what they want. So we'll definitely be putting out some more music. I think we're gonna be working on a full album, but I think we might kind of like Thank You Again. That wasn't there's a new record coming out or anything like that. It's kind of just us like writing some songs and having fun and blowing off some fucking steam while we work on a record. And I want to keep momentum up, and we have a lot to say right now, so we're just going to keep pumping shit out, and you'll hear from us again soon.
Beautiful, man. Well, I can't wait. I love the debut album, and love that you already got Thank You Again out. So I feel like the wheels are already turning for album number 2. Dude, last thing I got to hit you with, I appreciate all the time. We're an old school rock radio station. We do a feature called Mandatory Metallica every night at 10 p.m., which you're going to be a feature, a part of. And
All right.
kind of curious, man, especially being from the Bay Area. Do you have some Metallica love?
This is where I get the worst thing ever, bro.
Oh
I'm
no.
a Megadeth guy. I'm a Megadeth fan.
Okay. Well, I am too out of the two, but but obviously a thrash fan, and you got to have some love, at least for
Oh
the
shit! I mean,
first
especially
four.
my brother, bro. He's fucking all day Metallica. My band's huge Metallica fans. I'm the one that's like, they always shit on me. But yeah, obviously, yeah, for sure. I saw Muse. I mean, not Muse, not metal, but like I saw Muse a long time ago. And they were one of the coolest. It was one of the coolest concerts I've ever been to. But I remember walking up, and James Hetfield was standing like right outside. That dude's tall as fuck,
Yeah.
huge. But I was like, oh my god, that's the singer of Metallica standing right in front of me, and I was just like a fucking kid, just like whoa, like. But yeah, it was just cool seeing them in the Bay Area like that, just casually at a concert,
Yeah, that was cool about the Power Trip that they played, that Power Trip festival in India a few weeks ago,
Oh
or
sure.
months ago, and seeing just all the footage of the Metallica guys hanging out, air guitar into Judas Priest and stuff. That was so cool. Like
Yeah.
they've been in it 40 plus years, biggest band on the planet, and are still just fans at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all you could tell that, it was still a lot of passion for them. Yeah, that's
Genuine.
cool. Yeah.
Do you have
So what's this Metallica thing?
Well, it could go a couple of different ways. If you are a Metallica fan, I have a debate that I've been doing all this year and trying to debate the greatest Metallica album. And
Uh-huh.
me and my friend are on opposite sides of the fence, so I'll get your opinion on it. My friend Brad thinks that Ride the Lightning is the greatest Metallica album ever. Where I'm
Mm.
later, I'm go to Master of Puppets. I think that's their masterpiece.
I feel like I've listened to more of Ride the Lightning than Master of the Puppets.
Ah, interesting.
But I'm not gonna like I'm not diehard for, on one of them.
You're
But
not an
yeah.
aficionado, but just doing the quick
No,
math.
no.
I
Yeah,
mean,
man.
certainly Ride the Lightning is, well, I don't even know. I was going to say it's the heavier album, but I don't even know about that. But I just think that sonically, Master of Puppets sounds so much better.
Sure. I think that's I mean, not to go too off topic, but a reason why I think like God Hates Us All is my favorite Slayer album. It's a little bit
Yeah,
like, I don't know, it's just like it sounds the
amazing.
best, and it's like it they wrote a little differently on that song, and it just created a whole different like sinister vibe for Slayer for me. And like it's crazy how just like the way an album is mixed or will just completely change, like clicking and going back to it when it's sonically pleasing, you want to listen to it more.
Yeah, absolutely.
um,
Just to put
yeah.
just to put a button on the Metallica thing, do you have a song we could play for Mandatory Metallica? Is there one that sticks out? Maybe a Mustaine Pen tune?
Just put on Ride the Lightning, man.
The title track, that'll work. That works.
That's
That's
right.
perfect. Beautiful, beautiful, man. Thank you so much for the time. Can't wait to see you at the House of Blues again in a few weeks.
Yeah, make sure you come by and say what's up. I'll be in the audience and normally come hang out at merch and stuff. So yeah, make sure you say what's up and I'll get you a shirt and everything, man.
Yeah, I'll definitely come by and say hi. Thank you so much, dear.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
See you later. Good talking with you, man. Later.
Bye bye.